Hello there. Well, this is Wistful Donna here in New Zealand, where I've got the fire on. It's a bright sunny day, but if I open that blind, you won't be able to see anything. So I just thought I'd finish Mania. So yay! It was fun and experience. Don't know, 31 days is quite a lot. And as they're such big projects, don't know if I'd do such big projects next time. I think I'd do smaller ones, or just do a couple of the big ones. But who knows? I love the big projects, so what am I saying? I'll probably end up doing the same dang thing. Anyway, this is what the last one that I was doing. I'll start right into it and let you know what I'm up to and that sort of thing. And I've even got lists and all that. So I'll start with the last one that I did, which was the Herman of Copenhagen. And I can't see the name on this, but it goes as HH21249. And it's got a lot of beautiful motifs. So I started in the middle for a change, which is different for me, and I'm starting on the boat and didn't get very far. So that's it. And it was mostly just getting it in the right place and that sort of thing, and bonding some of the wool. So I've managed to bobbinate some of the stuff before I ended up with that. So it's not as bad as it looks. It's mainly this bit here. So I will get there, and like I say, it's a long-term project. I will just start there and just take it as it goes and not stress about it, because I've got a lot of things planned, because life is full. So I'll just toss everything to the corner. So I've got my coffee, and it's one of my knitting ones, and it says, let's see, when I learned how to knit, I forgot how to cook. There should be an embroidery one of that too, and a quilting one. So yeah, it's fun. This is another one that I was doing, Eleanor wicks, and it's a beautiful one. This one's DMC, but I just started at the top. So I have to count those out, go halfway across, and then I think it changes to another. Oh no, this one goes all the way across with that. So that was a fun one to do. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. I like, it's put out by, whatchamacallit, Scarlet Letter. I love their samplers. Bit much, but get there. And this is the Sarah Tool. And this one's quite pretty. I think originally I showed the picture in black and white. Well, started out, and you're supposed to go around the border with the edge. So I was listening to Gary and Christine on Fiber Talk today. Love their broadcasts. And they had a different way of doing it. So you can see I grid. And Gary was talking about, or Christine, about a different way of grid. When you've got a full border like this. So I'm going to adapt some of mine halfway through the process. You can see that I've gridded there 10-inch squares, and I've gotten to there. I'm going to grid out to there, and then what they do is they do the half stitch for 9 of those squares, and every 10th square they do a cross, and then continue on. Somebody else had the brilliant idea. You'll have to listen to Gary in Christine's talk. It's really good. Anyway, so I'm going to adapt that. So I'll pull that back out of my lot and redo it. Well, not redo it, but grid up to where I was, and then do the 10 thing. And then here's another one. This is from a rose garden. And I think this one's just beautiful. It's very, very pretty. And I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I'm going to do the, this one won't be so bad, I think, to do the grid, because it's got a lot of border, which makes it easier to find yourself so you don't get screwed up. So, not all of the cases will I do the border all the way through. That one should work out fairly good. Because I would get bored. I'd go mental just doing the complete border all the way around all the time. That, to me, I like to get into the fun part of the stitching. But it's cool. This is the Margaret Mason. This is a fairly new one that I started. Now, this one is in silk. And it's a very complex one. So I'll just try and get it. It's not really focusing, is it? I'm trying to give it time to focus, but it's not going to do it. I'll show you the top, which is where I've started. This goes halfway across the top. And it's done 1 thread over 2, and it's silk. And it's really fun. So that I enjoy. Don't do too many silk. I do a couple of them. But because it can be a bit detrimental to the old pocketbook. So, but then you can always pick up things at other places. Elsa Williams, that's the Ancient Map Sampler. It's quite nice. I only got to the top of Africa, so we're getting there. And one of the samplers, one of the needle minders that I made. That one's quite neat, just to show you some of the different things. What I've done for some of the needle minders is I get little packets like this. These little stick-on things that come as little buttons. And you can see I didn't spend too much, $1.99 for all of these. And they have a little stick-on thing. Well, I don't use that to stick on. Put the super glue type of stuff on, put it to an earth magnet, and I'm away. And they're quite fun, and they work quite well. And you can get wide variety of little pictures and that sort of thing. They may not last forever, but hey, a lot of stuff doesn't. So, and it doesn't break my budget. Have to figure out. Oh, that's a ship. So that's a new one. I'm trying to be organized. So I'll put the map away. Until I'm just as organized as ever. That's part of it. I send hubby away. He's walking up a hill and down and doing that. I do the flat walking. I'm pretty lazy. And then I'll probably start. I keep putting it off. So next week I'll start it. Yeah, we've heard that line before. Then, bit of a different one, this one. This is one that has been sitting around my stash for ages. And it's towels. They're Cannon towels that I got in the States years ago. Mary Maxim. And so it's really quite soft. And so I've just barely started on one of the flowers. Quite pleased with that progress. And I'll process, and I'll probably continue with it. I didn't know, I thought, being me, that it was just, it's just a little strip of that. I've gotten some towels before that you had to go through the towel itself, and this is quite nice. Towel's not as thick as nowadays, but we'll get there. Until I'm going to have a mess to pick up later. Kinetic. This is the East Gate of Chester. So it's one of them that I enjoyed. I picked it up when I was in England. God, when was it? About This one might have been about 10 years ago, maybe 3. No, it would have been about 10 years ago when we were on a tour. Anyway, I've just started this section here and going across here. So, enjoy it. It's on Ada, and that's my gridding. You can tell it's a mess. So I'm just going across, did a bit of this last night, and where to from here? I've had a lot of fun, and with all the different projects that I've done, I'll show you Sarah before I start the final rant. Sarah Brazier, this has really hurt this mania, because I bought that, okay, and I got the stuff, and I wanted to start, so I did. I'm on DMC, and I've completed the first page, and of course, being an idiot, I started in, I'd mixed up this in Death by Cross Stitch. Coffee. Mixed up Death by Cross Stitch, so I had to start them both over. So that's the one that I'm going to go all the way through and do the edging, but it's a jolly big, huge thing. So this is DMC, and it really is beautiful. Now I just use a hoop for most of my embroidery. In fact, just about all of my embroidery projects, I use the old Bates hoops. I've got quite a few, and you can pick them up used very often. I've broken a couple all the years that I've been doing needlework. So I've got a wide variety. This one's a bit small for this one. I usually use about a 6, sometimes 7. I don't wrap it, and honestly, you don't leave it on long enough. You know, I might leave it on for a couple days max, and I love these hoops because they keep the tension. I can put it on my needle frame, and it'll hold it so that I can just go to town stitching and love it. This Sarah Brazier is really fun. So, and Nicola's charts are just marvelous. Hands Across the Sea. So, I ordered 2 more. Yeah, we needed that. So we'll see what happens with that. And I thought with those that I would try 40 count, if my little eyeballs can handle that. So I will see, because it's going to be a bit of a challenge. What I order? Jennifer Gilbert and Elizabeth Bevan. So I got the DMC. I've got some of the thing that should do. And I've ordered some fabric, which I think will get here in time, because I'll go into that later. Because life is busy, very busy, which it should be, you know. Stuff it. It's winter here. The garden slowed down to a wee bit. Got lettuces, kale, curly kale. I'm just looking a little bit out in the garden. Fruit trees, all sorts of stuff growing in the garden. So I've got to have a traveling piece. And besides ordering stuff and having it delivered to daughter's house, I'm going to take that as a traveling piece. So I went through my stash. This is in cross stitch gold. Yeah, I haven't shown the pattern. So quite pleased with it. Got all the DMC the other day. Made sure I had a frame. Made sure I've got a thing of needles. That should be all ready for the plane and the trip. And I've got some Ada, but I'm not really. I'm happy with it. Happy that it's big enough, but I'm not terribly pleased with the quality, but it's going to be a pillow, so I'll think on that. I'm still sort of wondering. You know what it's like. Sometimes if the fabric isn't quite right, it sort of ruins it. Then I'm on the lookout. Now, I need your advice, guys. You know me. I love this. And it's a Ross Originals. A girlfriend gave me, she went through her stuff at home and gave me untold stuff. Brand new, some charts that were, one that's a too big thing of Pine Meadows is beautiful stitching, and it's just, it's got about this much to go on it, and then it's finished. So that one's cool. Plus a full thing and a half of DMC, several charts, quite a few. And this one is an Australian one. It's a Ross Original. He's out of Queensland. And that tiger is just calling to me. Why do I need a tiger? I guess to protect me from all the samplers that I've got. Anyway, I don't like them on the white. I think it's too much. I reckon I should... Does anybody know where I could get some... I reckon the green, a green with forest bits would be magic on the back there, on the background, and I think he would pop out. So I don't have the fabric for that, but that's one of the quandaries that I've got. Let me see, what else? Oh, I did a bunch of shopping. I don't know if I showed you my, picked up some rods, a bit of a stitching find the other day. This was about a week ago. Okay, now I know you guys find good stuff at other places, but that 20 bucks is good for New Zealand. And I'm quite pleased with that. So then of course I'll have to find something to put on it. I've had a lot of fun watching various people like Michelle Bendy Stitcher, and I won a pattern from her, and thank you very much. I did get it. Quite pleased with it. Was tempted to do a trip to Japan, so I just haven't gotten that together yet, but hopefully. Just didn't quite get there. But the blossom pattern should be nice, and that'll be another one. And then the Welsh stitcher that I keep forgetting every time is Stitchy Ray. You know, she's lovely, and she does some really good work, so well worth seeing. And then, of course, I still like Country Ray Stitchers, Deb and Liz, and Kitten Stitcher. Just enjoy that. They do a lot of reproduction type samplers and various wide variety, which just is like eye candy to me. I love that. Cindy Cross Stitcher, and you know, there, plus I watch quite a few more. And let me see who else. Oh, Luby's Lot, Lisa Bergen. Now Lisa, you stitch quite a few things that are just fabulous. I don't know how you can keep up with it, and I've got enough difficulty just stitching mine, nevertheless keeping up with how many minutes. I tried for a bit, but there's no way I'm going to do that. It just detracts from my stitching. So we'll see how you go, and thoroughly enjoy that. Quite a few people have stitched this historical sampler thing that was in, let's see, Gift of Stitching. I got the CDs to do it, and I'm running, there's a historic mystery sampler that's absolutely huge, and it was supposed to finish in 2008, which worked out great for me because I had the 2006, 7, and 8. Hold on.